Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, it is the end of October, so that means it is tier list time. Now, apologies for the delay with this particular video. It's actually the 4th of November. I'm a little bit late, you know, like dad life, getting all that stuff done, so when I can have a chance to get to the office to do the, obviously, stuff on the computer, like, I definitely will, but obviously most of the stuff is sort of just coming from my phone, and I really appreciate all the love and support that you guys are still showing for the channel, even though the content isn't up to the regular quality that it used to be. But if you're enjoying this stuff, make sure to belt the like button on all the videos, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to check out the second channel if you guys want to check out some Pokemon TCG stuff too. But in today's video, it is about Sugo Fest exclusives and the tier list, the end of month tier list. We did a bit of changes to last month's tier list. I'll leave a link as always to the tier list in the description below. But just be mindful that this is just my personal opinion playing the game. Playing the game for quite a while, and these are the legends that I like to use more often than not to help me clear content in a variety of ways, mainly being speed, power, and usability. Usability and like utility kind of fall hand in hand. And with today's video, we're taking every piece of content into consideration, whether that's like PK level 150 plus, all the way to like 10-star Kazuna, Super Boss Kazuna, treasure map every single month, co-op every single month, and then obviously all of your regular stuff. We have stuff like Blitz battles, your Coliseum stuff, GARPS challenges, all of that stuff that will come into play as well for you newer or mid-game players that are still trying to get that done. But just remember, we live in a boosted meta, and most of the time you're going to be running boosted characters unless it's outside of the list of, say, Super Boss where you're trying to do lots of damage, Treasure Map where you're trying to move really, really fast, or PK now where you are trying to get it done just in general. PK is pretty much the only place that gives you the flexibility to team build, like Coliseums and stuff used to be. But with their damage cap getting up to like 9 trillion, I believe, it's kind of crazy. But if you enjoyed today's video, or if you agree or disagree, make sure to belt the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comment section below. And while you're down there, let me know what your favorite legend is of the last 3 months. With that said, let's dive into the tier list of October 2024. Alright, so as of last month, this is the tier list. I had to rebuild it, so it might look a little bit different, like just a little bit different. But we're going to do some pretty big changes here, because I feel like we've got a lot of characters going on in this God tier. As for this top 10, this is my top 10 as it stood of, September 2024. But look, we're definitely going to make some changes to all of this as well, so just be mindful of that. What we might do is we'll scroll down just so you guys can get an idea of the tiers. I'm going to go quite slow because I still haven't figured out a way to get around that sort of grainy issue. So hopefully like this is actually not causing it to do that. I might just do it like this just in case. As you can see, I have a PvP mainly tier. This particular tier is purely for PvP. I think PvP obviously is like a game mode that everyone has to play every single day. You get 3 fights. So having a tier devoted to PvP is beneficial. But if you guys want to check out the PvP tier list, I do them whenever we get to the end of a big celebration. As for the rest of the tiers, we have your S tier captains, S tier sailors, S tier level limit break. These characters obviously need to be like max dupes to get all their abilities. And then this is where you'd primarily using them as a captain, primarily using them as a sub or a sailor. And then you have the A tier, which is below the S tier, and so on and so forth. Once we get down to here, we have the support tier. This particular tier is designed for characters that basically you're only going to use their support. You just want to sort of max them out, get their support level ready to go, and then you're off to the races. I have this tier here, Grand Voyage Must, because if you're a mid-game player moving into the end game, you're going to have to eventually level up these characters. Obviously, these all need level limit break 5 to get their max abilities, and you do want to sort of have them ready to go. This one here is for the Buggy Grand Voyage. This one here is for versus Zoro. Sanji is for the Bariate. This one here is for versus Smoker, I believe. Where this one here is versus Luffy, Arlong Park. The Arlong Park, like, demonic fight that is the Nami versus Arlong. Then you have the Luffy at Low Town with the fighters. And like, this one here actually probably is a Grand Voyage Must, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is probably this Kuzan as well. This Kuzan right here. And then Barto and Whitebeard. I've put them at the front there just so you guys can get an understanding that they're like very good for Grand Voyage. Same with this Garp as well. This Garp's very good for Garp's Challenge Arlong Parks. But like they are replaceable nowadays. But like these 3 definitely must brings alongside Smoker. As for the new one, obviously you need to bring Vivi. She has to come, and then Dogstorm is pretty essential. Crocodile at the moment is pretty essential too, so Like I said, if you're a mid-game player, you're going to have to eventually bite the bullet. As for these bottom tiers, this is the bad for now until we get some other stupid thing like level and break 10 or something ridiculous. And then these characters here are all these characters need love. Like, all these characters need something. They need either Super Evolution, Level Limit Break. They need something, and it's like something bad. As for this Lucci shouldn't even be here. Like, I just completely glossed over the fact that he has a 6+ and I forgot to remove him. So just be mindful of him. But all these characters, they need 6+ so bad. Like, this Reiju actually has a really good support. So we'll put up Reiju up there in support. As for the rest of the characters, like I said, like, if you're literally nosing, man, it's kind of sad to see, like, these characters, right? Like, hang on, let's just bring these down. Like, these characters fell off. Like, when I first read their kits, I was like, damn, these characters are actually strong, but they've just had nowhere to shine. Same with the Zoro Memory Straw Hats, Sanji Memory Straw Hats, the Robin's been pretty bad too, so, like, look, you could probably make an argument to me that they are better than some of the other characters you see up here, but, like, I just feel like they're never used, like, ever, and they're just, like, characters that have fallen off the goddamn earth. I did bring Ace down here. He needs love. He's trash. And then obviously Kaido as well. They're probably the big ones that I've sort of moved out of some tiers. Sengoku, honestly, if you're a treasure map lover, you can do some fun stuff with Sengoku. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't, like, to be honest. Straw Hat Crew actually totally glossed over. They should definitely go up into... we're bringing them to ATS Hour. Just have the ability to remove any debuff that you guys want. So, like, that's actually something that's pretty valid. As for going back to the top here and making some changes, like I said, I do want to change the God tier a little bit. I'm going to bring Brook down to meta. This Kazuna Brook is really only good when you're coming up against the pain debuff. And obviously with the release of Roger, Rayleigh, and Kaban, we have another character that can get around... no, actually, he doesn't do pain. I'm a smackhead. He does the... what's it called? He does fear. Or silence. Silence. He's like the only character that can get around silence. But where he was good, we found that this Brook just did it better. Like, this Brook did it better. I'm actually going to bring this Brook up into God tier. Just seeing what he can do for, like, disgusting HP thresholds. He's fantastic. Like, Brook lovers, honestly, like, shout out to B-Bro and Snuffy. Like, you guys are just winning. Like, just straight up winning. This guy's so good. Like, he's the best Brook in the game. Like, I thought this Brook's the best Brook, but, like, this is the best Brook for sure. We're going to bring Ace Yamato can stay in God tier, but Ace Sabo is going to come down to meta. Ace Sabo is starting to fall off. Great utility, obviously really good captain options, but definitely starting to see a little bit less play. And then I'm going to bring S Snake down to S tier captain. The only reason I'm going to bring S Snake down to S tier captain is purely because of her classes. Her classes hold her back something fierce. Like, she's got great power, she's got great speed, but, like, her usability, it's just quite low. And that's what really holds this character back. As for the meta tier, I want to bring... actually, I'm going to leave Kid Killer here just because I think you can do some fun stuff in Super Boss with damage outputs and stuff like that, so that should be fine. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with the rest. I feel like Roger and Odin are starting to fall, actually, quite quickly. They're a great rush character, but they're definitely starting to see some dips. So actually, I'm probably going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to drop these two characters. I love K-Dad. K-Dad with his attack down removal is fantastic, but definitely starting to fall off. Definitely. Damage nullification is great to get around, but like with Ace, you're pretty much always just going to bring Ace. Or you're going to try and bring some sort of support if it's a low one. And then Roger and Odin just kind of clashing with other Odins, with other Rogers and stuff like that, which makes it hard for them to be broad as well. But look, they're a strike character, which is actually pretty cool. And that's what sort of separates them from the rest. As for everything else, I'm very happy with everything else here. Versus Shanks, could probably be brought down to meta as well. Probably a little bit of bias going on there with Shanks. In terms of damage output, he's fantastic, but like the same argument resides for these two characters. Any character that can do double conditional boost is really only going to see most of their play over in Super Boss Kazuna. And look, Shanks is definitely going to be a character you have to bring for Super Boss Kazuna. Like, if you want damage, you're bringing this combination. Like, this combination right here, it's wild with Zoro Sanji. So that's definitely something you're gonna want. I'm gonna leave Dora Brogy up in God tier. They're fantastic, and if you know, you know. But one big change that I'm gonna make, like a really big change, is I'm going to bring this Luffy above Shanks and this Luffy. Free Spirit. It's wild what Free Spirit's doing, and if you're a Free Spirit character, you're just winning. And that's the big reason I'm putting him over this Int Luffy and this Int Shanks. What this Int Luffy and this Int Shanks are doing for their own respective teams, like Shanks a little bit better than Luffy in my opinion because he's a slasher. But what they're doing for their respective teams is fantastic, but they're just not free spirit. Like, it's just not free spirit. And like, sure, you can bring Zoro Sanji to make them into free spirit characters. Again, Shanks has a bit more viability because he's already a slasher. And that's what makes these guys so good too, is you can just turn them into free spirit slashers there. But like, when you're looking at speed, like speedier teams, Zoro Sanji isn't going to be charged always at the start. Like, you're not getting the versatility, the super swap ready to go, and then you're sort of having to do some stalls and stuff like that. But as for Luffy, like, he's still fantastic. He carries Powerhouse on his back, like, he carries Fighter on his back, he carries Int on his back. Same as Shanks carries Cerebral, carries Sai, like, these two characters for those respective classes and colors, like, they're the ones that, well, maybe doesn't carry Sai, but definitely carries the class of Cerebrals. As for another big change, I'm going to drop Blackbeard all the way to the back of top 10. I think Blackbeard is definitely still a top 10 character because HB Guard is so goddamn broken. But like a great man known as Porky once said that once OPTC drops a gimmick, they will make it prevalent for a month and then it'll disappear. And once the HB Guard sort of craze ends, the character will start to drop off. And lo and behold, like this month, Blackbeard, like, you can use him, don't get me wrong, but like going out of your way for him is just, it's ludicrous. And it's a big problem with these characters here, and it's why I have them so low, Kid and Killer, is that they need 6 of their class, and strikers and shooters are just in real shambles at the moment, like real shambles. Sure, people are going to shout at me for Kid. I don't give a fuck. Like, Kid sucks, man. Like, he's actually so bad. You Poppy special, sick. You're getting a lot of damage output. That's great. I hear you. But, like, you got the same argument for these characters here. At least they can use their specials more than once. And they don't need 6 fucking shooters. Blackbeard doesn't need 6 powerhouse characters, but to get his HP guard, he does. And that's the issue. The upside to Blackbeard is he has someone that can help him out in Whitebeard, which I believe I have him in S tier sub. Yeah, he has Whitebeard at his disposal, so that way you can turn everyone into powerhouses, and you can do some fun stuff there. But as for HP guard, it's definitely a mechanic that a lot of people are just gonna kind of forget about, to be honest. Which kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, Blackbeard does remove attack down his captain as well, which makes him very, very valuable. Sort of like what these characters here are doing with Atlas and K-Dad. To be honest though, like most of the time when I think attack down and revive, I just go straight to K-Dad because slashers are just in a way better position. But the big one that I'm going to change in the top 10 is I'm going to do this. I think Yamato is one of the most underrated characters in the game. Like by far. The ability to remove 7 turns of any debuff on your side of the field, it's unrivaled. And that's why Shiroshi Mantra V1 is so high. That's why I brought the Straw Hat crew up a little bit more. Straw Hat crew have the problem of obviously having all the Straw Hats. But like Yamato doesn't have that much competition with other characters that are doing what Yamato's doing. Sure, Yamato's attack boost 3.25 and 1.75 overridable orb buff is subjective to running a full Free Spirit team. And obviously that does work if you're running like full Free Spirit with Ace. And then you can use the Ace special overriding the Yamato orb buff to give an attack, an orb buff and a conditional boost, which works great. But Yamato's main draw, like I said, is the ability to just remove 7 turns any debuff. It's working great in PK. It works basically every single time in Super Boss for whatever you need. Plus, she gives you the damage reduction conversion buff, and she's a double super class booster. So that ability to get the 1.8 times damage is just basically unrivaled throughout the game as well. This Yamato can do it, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like, you're not really going to be running this Yamato anymore. The final tap of this Yamato and Luffy can do it, and then this S-Snake can do it as well. And that was a big reason why I had S-Snake, because not a lot of characters can actually give that damage conversion buff. But when they can, like, it just provides you with so much extra stuff, like so much extra damage. But on top of that, Yamato, just that ability to remove debuffs makes her very, very valuable. I'm using her at the moment in PK, and she's doing absolute wonders. Plus, she's a fucking free spirit. Like, her captain ability is kind of underrated too. Obviously, it's very restrictive, but running mono free spirit compared to running mono powerhouse, mono shooter, mono striker, like it's a lot easier to do. The cerebral side of things is a little bit challenging, and once we get like a Zoro Sanji for Yamato, we're going to be in a much crazy position. The final thing I'm going to do in this top 10 is I'm actually going to, actually not the final thing. The second final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip around Ace and Luffy. I think Ace, I use Ace so much, man. Like, the ability to get 50% cooldowns is just phenomenal. Like, running in PKA, like, if I'm trying to do a no-soul team, I'm always going to Ace. And guess what? He's a free spirit fucking captain. So, of course, he's going to be very, very good. Now, Luffy, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Luffy's bad or, like, Luffy's, like, worse than Ace on paper or whatnot. I just think, like, where I want to use Luffy, the cooldowns hold him back so much. But at the same time, he does make content easier by bypassing all defensive effects. But I feel like with Ace and his power, being able to be an attack booster, getting the cooldowns, the special reduction, like all that stuff, makes him just so valuable, like so valuable for teams. Plus, you can also use the switch ability to Sanji to then get that double orb and conditional, and then on top of that, you get his attack boost too with his Super X2, which is very, very good. The final thing I'm going to do in the top 10 is I'm actually going to bring Uta out of the top 10. I think Uta has definitely seen her time. Special reverse paralysis removal is great, but like her multipliers nowadays are very, very low. Strikers definitely are not where they used to be, and Cerebral, honestly, are definitely not where they used to be. That, don't get me wrong, like Cerebral still have some very, very good units, but there's very rare that you're going to be running Uta as a captain for that Cerebral team. And the character I'm going to replace her with is Roger. Anniversary Roger. He's just a sleeper. An absolute sleeper. And one that I gassed up earlier, but then kind of forgot about. And I should have just stuck with my guns initially, because, you know, your first instinct's usually right. Roger's terrific. Like, the anniversary exclusives, man, like these anniversary Super Sugos and stuff, and anniversary exclusive Roger, like, they ranked just disgustingly strong within the meta. Roger obviously give me an attack boost, orb boost, or color affinity boost. If you run him as captain, you get all three. You get extra belly, you get extra EXP. He removes special binds. He has like one of the best tandems in the game. He's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I just cannot praise Roger enough. Like, he's very, very good, and his usability for attack down and defense up removal is actually very, very nice too. So that's the new top 10. That's the god tier, and then we're gonna move down to the characters. Sorry about the graininess. I do really apologize. We're going to move down to the characters we need to talk about in today's video. We have a bunch of them, so I'm going to try and be fast. But obviously, we have the big one smack bang in the middle there, which is the anniversary exclusive in Roger, Rayleigh, and Gaban. Starting off, though, we have the treasure map Kobe for the end of the Garp celebration and the... Well, not really the end, because like Shiryu ended up turning up. But Kobe came as the treasure map legend, and honesty impact. Honestly, Kobe kind of like shocked me, man. Kobe's really good. Like, really, really good. These two together actually worked fantastically. And they're kind of designed to be used together. Both being fighter superclasses kind of sucked. But they're definitely very, very good characters. And Kobe just, yeah, he's great. If you utilize a territory with Kobe's captain, he has the ability to remove 6 turns of special bind and bind. And that actually ability is really, really strong, because he can remove special bind in his super class, and then you just use his special, you apply the territory, and you're good to go. As a sub, he can just remove bind and special bind, and he's kind of wonky in the sense that he has 2 turns and stuff, so he's not a perfect character, but like, I read his kit, and I was like, bro, this guy sucks. Honesty, this guy sucks. But no, I used him, and I was like, dude, this guy's actually kind of good, man. This guy's actually kind of good. So yeah, if you have Kobe, like, be very, very happy, because he's a good character, man. He's a good character. Definitely not one that I would chase or anything like that, but definitely worked great with the PvP team for Garp as well. As for the next unit we have Shiryu the Rain. Shiryu has a captain action, and it's very reminiscent of the exact same captain action we've already seen. It's exactly the same as Queen's, it's exactly the same as Sanji's. It's the invisibility, but he can use it for 5 turns, which is very, very interesting. As a captain, if you get below 20% HP, you auto-proc his special, which will apply set target for powerhouse characters, and then if you already have set target, you get an increased damage taken that bypasses full immunity. This is actually really, really good. Like, this is really, really strong. And obviously, if you're using something like Blackbeard, for example, as a friend captain, you're cutting your HP so drastically already. And then with the versatility of Blackbeard, you can actually cut your HP by 60%. So it's actually very easy to get below the 20% multiplier. So then have Shiryu auto-proc his special and do it again. And then adding on the fact that you can bypass defensive effects, thresholds, barriers, all that kind of stuff as a captain, makes him very, very strong. However, it is quite restrictive. He's a slasher booster, which kind of helps him a little bit, but they really want you to use him with powerhouse characters. Like, they really, really want you to use him with powerhouse characters. And for that reason, I feel like he's just going to see play as an S-tier captain. Definitely a very good unit. Like, probably one of the better Kazuna units we've had in a little while. But he just, like I said, like I just don't really see a place where you're just going to use him all that much. Besides, in some very niche circumstances. In saying that though, hybriding him up with Blackbeard is going to be really fun. Going invisible obviously just bypasses everything. You don't have to worry about despairs, binds, special binds, anything like that on the captain. And this can be very, very good to get around stuff like that silence debuff and whatnot. But if it's not just hitting the captains, then you're not really going to be in a position where that works out all that well. So, great unit, but in practicality, probably not going to be as good as what he reads on paper. So that's kind of the downside. And look, that usually happens with villain characters. Besides like Verse Kaido, like that's stereotypically what happens when it comes to villains. As for Magellan, Mr. Magellan got a level limit break as well as a 6+, and he's actually very, very good. He has double special activation, which allows him to be a color affinity booster for either 2 turns. He does a 20% HP cut, and then he can give an attack boost if you have the enemy with a poison status. Now, he's special, obviously poisons as well. But this was always a problem with Magellan because he would, if the enemy had full immunity or poison immunity, you could just not poison them, and then you're just stuck with a color affinity booster. Well, now, with his level limit break, he actually bypasses full immunity and allows you to apply poison no matter what. So, as a captain, you can apply the poison, you get the double special, and then you can just go bink, bink, and get a color affinity boost and an attack boost. He's super type, allows you to apply poison too. So if you want, you can actually apply the poison, use one special, and then I believe you get both the color affinity and the attack boost all in one go. So very, very good level limit break, to be honest. He is built up around quick units though, so you have to build mono quick teams. Definitely a character you're probably going to see a lot of play in PvP as well. He's got a great PvP kit, just like this particular unit does as well. He's just absolutely fantastic. Whilst we're in the sort of category of level limit breaks, there is something that I want to do. I want to bring Carrot up into God tier, man. I just think Carrot lately has just continuously shone. Having that ability to bypass defensive effects, the captain swap, obviously, era, like with now captain shift and stuff like that, has sort of kicked in. And Carrot's just fantastic at just bypassing particular stages. On top of that, she gives a lot of cooldowns, So if you run her as captain, you can get some really, really fun stuff off there. Again, not a character that's going to like blitz out like crazy ass endgame content, but when you're doing like PK 80 runs, but even like PK 100 or 150 runs, and you want it to be fast, you want to bypass like some crazy defensive effects, Carrot's going to be a character that definitely helps you guys out. I can't praise Carrot enough, if I'm honest. And she continuously fluctuates on my tier list. I think it's time that we sort of said, hey, let's keep you up here. And I don't know if I want to put her in God tier. I feel like meta's probably... Yeah, I feel like meta's probably a little bit safer for her. Yeah, I feel like the meta tier is probably a little bit safer. And then... I don't like how clumped this is. Yeah, I feel like putting her in the meta tier is probably a little bit safer. And then as for Yamato, you can come down to S tier captain. I feel like you've definitely fallen off. Yeah, I feel like that's probably safe. These characters here obviously have purpose in the sense of their sub capabilities and whatnot too. Look, Bonnie, you've probably fallen off too, to be honest. I'll put Bonnie in S tier captain as well. She's a high end S tier captain, but definitely one that has kind of fallen off as well. Alright, moving on to the meat and potatoes of the video. Everyone's favorite anniversary exclusive legend. Yahoo! Now we probably have another one coming for treasure map, so just be mindful of that if you guys are like spamming gems. Roger Rally Kabam. Roger Rally Kabam are quite controversial, actually. Not a lot of people love this particular character. Myself, I think these characters are fantastic. They have the new mechanic, which is Captain Shift. Now, if you are the captain and you are Roger, and you switch into Rayleigh Gaban, you have the option to switch into your middle right character. This will make Roger Rayleigh Gaban go as a sub, and then your middle right character will become captain. If you are a sailor, for example, you are in the middle right-hand slot, and you are Roger Rayleigh Gaban, and you switch into Roger, you can then choose to switch into Captain. This Captain Shift ability can be used twice per quest. When you do use the Captain Shift mechanic, you actually get 5 turns of cooldown for Roger Rayleigh Gaban, which is really, really good, because they don't give cooldowns in the Captain kit. So this ability to just give cooldowns to themselves is actually really, really nice. On top of that, their switch ability removes Special Bind, which is great. The Captain ability removes Bind. They technically are a Rainbow Captain, however, they are built up around slasher characters, and they are built up around... int and strength units. Now, having that sort of wonkiness of strength, int, and slashes, honestly, to me, isn't a bad thing. It kind of opens the door to a lot of other characters that aren't slashers. However, their switch gives resistance for slasher characters. So you kind of want to sort of build around slashers when it comes to the damage output that this character has. So that's kind of something that you're going to be like shoehorned into. Their final tap is absolutely dookie, and it's like one of the two big issues I have with the character, and the reason they're not in the top 10. Firstly, no, I forgot what I was saying. There's two big reasons. There's two big issues with the character. I remember the second one, but now I forgot the first one. Oh, let's move on to the second one, and then we'll come back to the first one. The first big issue is that if you are using this character as a friend captain, you completely lose the ability to captain shift. You need to either be in the middle right, or as your captain to get the captain shift mechanic. Now, this might be like, some people might be thinking, well, who gives a shit? Like, it's fine, I don't need the captain shift. Well, to activate their superclass, you need to use the captain shift. You need to use the captain shift, use their special, so you go into their dual form, and then you can use their superclass. Well, if you're a friend captain, you can't captain shift. You just completely lose the superclass. Now, the superclass allows you to get a extra 30% crit percentage to any character that has crit. Now, this is really good because then if you have a 100% crit chance, Roger, Rayleigh, Gaban as a captain have the ability to bypass 2 turns of defense up or 2 turns of damage reduction, depending if you are Roger, Rayleigh, Gaban, Roger or Rayleigh, Gaban, respectively. If you're in the dual form, you actually get both of them, which is great. And ideally, you want to sort of captain shift in to Roger, Rayleigh, Gaban, use their special, get in their dual form, use their EX, so you get 50% extra damage from crits, and that way you can just sort of burst through some defense and damage reduction with a whole bunch of crit characters. Downside to this is obviously you need a bunch of crit units to actually do that, which is a bit of a shame. And if you don't use the captain shift to get that crit buff, then you're not going to be, and you sort of have an 80% chance to crit, and you're relying on that, and you don't crit, and you could just sort of like fail a run because of this. So that's like the big issue I have with the unit itself, is basically not being able to use them as a friend captain to get the full extent out of them. And as for the other one, I've just completely spaced. Honestly, I'll rewatch the video and try and post a comment or some shit. I don't know, man. My baby brain is fried. But overall, they are a fantastic character. They have the ability to remove pain as well, which is great. They remove barriers by a 2-turn, which I love. That niche usability of getting around barriers is what makes like some of these other characters so damn strong. And obviously, bypassing barriers is what makes these like some other characters so strong too. But yeah, Roger, Rayleigh, Gaban, they're good. Like, they're a good unit. Like, they're a very, very good unit. They're not game breaking. They're a fun unit. They're definitely going to be very, very good for your account. So, like, if you manage to pull the unit, like, be very happy because they're going to help your accounts drastically. Like, I promise you, they're going to be a very, very good sub option. They're going to be a great captain option because what you can do is just you could run, say, for example, like Carrot as your captain, get all those cooldowns, and then just swap into Roger, Rayleigh, Gaban, and then you don't have to worry about that. Another really good character for this is Carrot and Wanda. You just run Carrot Wanda as your captain. You get to stage 3. Carrot and Wanda give all the cooldowns to your crew, and then you captain shift. Yamato, this one here, Yamato, she does the same thing. She gives a 1 turn of cooldown to the entire crew as a captain, and then you just captain shift out, and then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about either lower multipliers or stuff like that. So they're a good unit. Like, they're a really good unit. Plus, you get around captain swap, one of the most annoying mechanics in the game, and have like a very good character that can actually do that too. So yeah, they're good. They're just good. Like, they're very, very good. Honestly, just on the cusp of top 10. Honestly, they're a free spirit character, so we might push Blackbeard out next month. Who knows? We'll see what happens with content. But yeah, like, in saying that, free spirit slashers, man, they just reign supreme through the game. As for the final part of the month, we had the Halloween stuff, and 3 characters actually down here. A bit weird you might be seeing 3, because we only had 1 new legend release, and that was Uta. Uta's release came alongside Perona 6+, and they're doing that really, really cringe thing where, like they did with Dex Luffy, where they don't give you the skulls straight away. We're going to have to, like, farm the skulls for the next, like, 3 months before we can fucking Super Evolve Perona, which is so dumb, by the way. So, Ben, if you're watching this video, like, sort your shit out. Like, don't be throwing this crap at us. No one is going to summon for a character like 6+ Perona for a Blitz. Like, it's not going to happen. But they released Uta for the Blitz, and, look, you got a whole bunch of people because they summoned for Uta. So, I guess, like, tick in your box, but, like, the community's pissed off. Like, just don't do that shit. But the upside to releasing Perona 6+ is that regular Perona, little old regular Perona here, got a level limit break. Awesome, right? And honestly, like, the big change between the 2 characters is that she's now a driven shooter, not a free spirit shooter. And if you guys have been listening to the last, I don't know, 29 minutes where I've been just, like, sucking free spirit's dick, then you'll understand that this Perona is probably worse than said Perona we already have. And guess what? I actually think that. I definitely think that. The new Perona, she's very, very good. Like, she's actually disgustingly good. I want to put her, like, up here in meta, but I'm obviously going to put her in S tier level in break, because that's what she is. She's a level in break. Look, I put Carrot up there, man. Like, I don't know, man. I just think she's so good. The reason I think she's so good is she has the ability to remove 2 turns of damage nullification. Not a lot of characters can remove damage null, and the characters that can are very, very strong. Like, you have, what's his name? K-Dad, you have, Ace up here. Like, they're all removing damage null, but now Perona can remove damage null too. She also gives you 3 turns of a conditional buff, which works really, really good if you are versing, increased damage taken, negative effect, all that stuff as well. She can actually get her, what's it called? She can get her super type off very easily, which applies that negative ability. And when you start looking at something like this with the captain shift mechanic, and you put, say, Perona in the middle right-hand slot, switch into Perona, apply the negative effect, get the, what's it called? Get the negative off. She has an ability where she can apply increased damage taken that goes through full immunity. Like, she's so good. Honestly, I don't really see her being meta. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't really see her being like a meta character. She doesn't even like crazy cooldowns and whatnot. She also gives you a chain lock too, which is kind of mid. Like, you want chain boundary when it comes to like most characters. But then again, she does increase chain locks, so you could also do some fun stuff with that. But she's very, very good. If you have Perona dupes, make sure to feed them in. She's a fantastic level limit break. As for this particular Perona, like this one here, she kind of got a massive downgrade in the sense that she's now driven. Driven sucks. Driven's bad. Like, Driven's just not good. But she basically does the same stuff, I think. I can't actually remember, but I just don't think she's that good. As for Uta, Uta's okay. Like, Uta's just kind of cool. Like, she's kind of there. Honestly, she's pretty bad for her release, but she is going to be very, very formidable as a captain. She's a driven cerebral character, Dex. She has the ability to remove silence, which, again, is very, very good, but obviously doesn't have any ability to just bypass silence. And it's why I think Brook is just infinitely better. This Brook can auto-proc, so that way you can get around it. Plus, Brook's Free Spirit. Crazy! Free Spirit Slasher, actually. So, having that ability is great. She gives cooldowns in her super class, Cerebral super class, which is quite nice as well. She delays, which I believe is a guaranteed delay. And then she gives 3 turns of an attack boost to Driven and Cerebral characters with that super class as well. So pretty easy to get to. She cuts her HP by 50%. And when you go below 50% HP and use any other special, she can remove 5 turns of attack down or 5 turns of defense up. And that's kind of the best thing about her captain, in the sense that you just use her super class, get low HP, use specials, and you can just bypass some certain debuffs and stuff like that. So that's what makes her the most valuable, in my opinion. But other than that, like, I don't really see where she's going to fit in with the meta and see how well she goes across the board. But if you guys are a big Uta fan and you really enjoy using her since her release, let me know in the comment section below. But as for the tier list, like, that's what it looks like for October of 2024. If you guys agree, like I said, let me know in the comment section below. If you disagree, like, let me know down there too. Because remember, this is just my personal opinion. Hopefully, it helps you guys out with what you guys want to level up and whatnot too. But if you enjoyed the video, bell the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please make sure you enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.